apart. Trust me.
My God.
Transformers. This film is not yet rated. July 4th everywhere.
This is my review for Transformers, released in 2007. Transformers is an interesting summer blockbuster, in that it is based on something that already existed. It's of course based on the cartoon series. However, if you have a film based on a cartoon series about robots, you pretty much can guess that even if you've never seen the series, a blockbuster about robots is going to attract a large audience. The general audience reaction is an interesting one. I'd almost class Transformers as a guilty pleasure for some people. That phrase tends to bring to mind a badly made film, but this is not the case. What I basically mean is that it got high ratings and a good deal of praise, but at the same time there was a lot of criticism thrown at the film. Criticisms I would agree with. It's not exactly making new ground with its plot devices. We've seen the majority of this before in summer blockbusters. The one-sided characterization of Megan Fox's character is shockingly bad. Basically, she's just portrayed as sex on legs, with the male gaze theory being used to death. Then you've got the classic story of the kid who's been bullied by other kids, but hell, he gets the girl. One of the other criticisms that was thrown at the film was that it was all action, and this has me at a loss. Because especially on rewatch, a lot of the film, to me, seemed like it was comedy and humour. The introduction of Bumblebee, generally the character of Sam Witwicky, has a lot of funny lines. Actually, Shia LaBeouf, who plays Sam Witwicky, is a highlight of the film. He gives a good performance with a good sense of fun and humour. He carries the film very well, as he would later also prove in Indiana Jones 4, he is a talent to watch. Okay, so the action, yes, there's action, but it's Transformers, a story about robots. Of course they're going to be robots pummeling into each other, it's half of the fun. People say that Michael Bay just goes too far, everything has to be big and explosive, but with a film like Transformers, how can it not be? The actual CGI work on the robots is amazing, and how it didn't get the Oscar, I will never understand. Come on, Golden Compass? You want to see polar bears, go watch a Coca-Cola advert. Rachel Taylor and Tyrese Gibson make a funny double act. On the first viewing, I was mostly concentrating on two things: the CGI and some of the weaker elements of the film, the plot elements and stereotypical action elements I mentioned before. However, on a second viewing, what really stuck with me was the comedy. Such as a scene where Shia LaBeouf's character attempts to keep the Transformers a secret from its parents when huge robots are just outside their house. I would have liked to see more interaction between the robots, possibly. More focus on their conflict would have been nice, but it didn't bother me as much as it bothers some people. All in all, Transformers is a pretty solid film. It's a great achievement in CGI, it's funny and Shia LaBeouf gives a great performance. However, it does have some of those conventions we've seen thousands of times before, and I think if the good points I mentioned hadn't been so well executed, the more stale elements of the film would have been more obvious and more visible.
It's a robot, you know, like a super advanced robot. It's probably Japanese.